Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Sharon, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three!
Bane for three. Bingo! This man Bane
Heating it up.
blocked by Sharon.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking in from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't think the Grizzlies would finally get a win over Houston last night, because that did not happen. It never happens. Never happened. Another loss to a good team, another loss filled with turnovers. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. When we finish this open, we're going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Deion Sanders has acknowledged publicly that he and Jerry Jones have discussed the Cowboys' job. Should this marriage happen? I'll ask Bennett what he thinks. We'll do that in about 20 minutes or so. The Rams pounded the Vikings from start to finish last night in Glendale, Arizona. Final score, Rams 27, Vikings 9. Minnesota's season is over. The Rams going to play in Philadelphia on Sunday. We'll talk NFL playoffs. We'll do that in just a bit. LiAngelo Ball has reportedly signed a $13 million contract with Universal Music Group after Tweaker went viral. LeVar might really be the GOAT of dads.
Yeah.
Who's a better dad than LeVar Ball? Huh? I think somebody owes somebody some apologies.
Maybe so.
We'll reminisce about the GOAT LeVar. We'll do that in the second segment. Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, he's updated his projected bracket for the 2025 NCAA tournament. I'll tell you where he's got Penny Hardaway's Tigers. We'll do that a little later on in the show. An Eagles fan, the guy who called a Packers fan a bunch of bad things on video over the weekend at a playoff game. That Eagles fan, that fella, he's been identified. His employer has released a statement.
Oh, no.
Probably won't be his employer much longer. Oh, man, people got to watch what they say.
Yeah.
I think people got to start paying attention a little more closely to what they say. I'll tell you what's going on. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 40 of a scheduled 82 was played last night in Houston. It was a game against the Rockets, so per tradition, keeping with tradition, the Grizzlies lost once again. Final score, Houston 120, Memphis 118. The Grizz led by as many as 13 points in the game, up 5 points heading into the fourth quarter, up 8 points with fewer than 7 minutes left. But they gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter while only scoring 26. That's the math that flipped a 5-point lead heading into the fourth into a 2-point loss. In the end, it was a combination of too much Jalen Green, too many Grizz turnovers, too many missed free throws in the final 10 seconds. Jalen Green got 42 points on 18 shots. He was tremendous. They couldn't slow him down. Grizz finished with 17 turnovers and just 15 assists. That's not the way those numbers are supposed to be. Ja Morant missed 2 free throws in a 1-possession game with 6.1 seconds remaining. That's not ideal. Add it all up, and that's how you get a loss that drops you to 25 and 15 overall, 10-10 away from home, 0-3 against the Rockets this season. Big Bet Bennett, why did the Grizzlies lose to the Rockets again? I thought we told them in pretty clear terms this time yesterday. I thought we told them to stop doing that. Why did they do that again?
Well, I think it's probably a mixture of a few things. The late turnovers were pretty brutal. They did, Houston actually had more turnovers than the Grizzlies in the game, but this has been something that we talked about so much with the Grizzlies lately that it just really stands out, especially when it happens late in a game. So clearly that played a huge role down the stretch. And Jalen Green just becomes Michael Jordan every time he plays the Grizzlies, dude. I don't know. I don't know what that's all about, but he loves playing against us. He's officially, I think, a Grizz killer. I think he's maybe part of the Mount Rushmore at this point of current active players in the league.
He was a Grizz killer last night. Yeah. I mean, he was scoring, as Taylor Jenkins said after the game, he was scoring at all 3 levels. He had the big play late where he just drove straight into the I'm just going to be I'm coming straight at the basket. I'll create contact. You can be big. I'll score anyway. He was excellent. So combine that with costly turnovers and costly missed free throws, and you get what you get. So the Grizz are now 25-15, alone in third Western Conference standings, 3 games back of the Rockets now in the loss column of the standings. Mm-hmm. Season series, that's now over. 3-0 Rockets at this point. So even if the Grizzlies win the final meeting between the two teams, which is scheduled for January 30th on TNT, even if the Grizzlies win that game, they can't win the season series. So if Houston and Memphis end up with the same record, Houston will get the preferable seed. Honestly, not the biggest deal in the world, but it is discouraging that the Grizzlies lost yet again when matched up with a supposed peer. Like right now, Oklahoma City is first in the West, Houston second. The Grizzlies are 0-4 this season against those two franchises. When you stretch it out and look at the Grizzlies' record against, say, top 7 seeds in the West, do you know what that looks like? In fact, let's call it a trivia time. Yeah. Trivia time. It's trivia time.
You said top 7. I'll say
trivia time.
Go ahead.
I just want to keep saying trivia time. Trivia time. Bennett, the top 7 seeds in the West are currently in order: the Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Mavericks, Lakers, and Clippers. What's the Grizzlies' record against those teams this season? Trivia time.
I don't know how many total games they've played against those teams.
I can tell you. I know everything.
Okay,
12.
go ahead.
12.
I'm going to say 3-9.
Bennett, you're a genius again.
Is it 3-9? I knew it because I knew we got the Denver one, but that was without Jokic. So do we even count that?
I mean, Bennett, we're going to count them because
I got it.
We're going to count them. These other teams are counting wins against the Grizzlies when Ja Morant doesn't play and when Desmond Bane doesn't play. So we're going to count wins against Denver when Nikola Jokic doesn't play. Bennett, you're a genius once again. You don't know state capitals for shit, but you're pretty good at some of this other stuff.
I pay attention to the Grizzlies a little more than, geography. So
hey, you don't say less.
Yeah.
Say less. You don't have to tell me. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. The Grizzlies have played 12 games so far this season against teams that would be top 7 in the West. They're one of the top 7. So it's 12 games against 6 different teams, and they're 3-9 in those games. Against Oklahoma City, 0-1. Against Houston, 0-3. Against Denver, 1-1. Against Dallas, 1-1. Against the Lakers, 1-2. Against the Clippers, 0-1. 3-9 against top 7 seeds in the West. 22-6 against everybody else. They do not have a winning record, the Grizzlies don't, Bennett, against any top 7 team in the West. Not one. Does that concern you?
It does. It does concern me. I mean, you could also say, if you're trying to put a positive spin on it, that how many of those games did Ja, Jaren, and Dez play together in? Probably very few, if any. Maybe, well, we know 2, right? So, yeah, it is concerning. But what do we have? We got like 42 games left in the regular season, I believe now. I think we're going to learn a ton about this team, especially if those 3 guys stay healthy and play a bunch of games together for a long stretch. We play a bunch of these teams coming up, so I think we're going to find out a lot over the next few weeks as far as where this team stands in the pecking order in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's concerning because you can't run away from that. I mean, you don't have a winning record against any good teams in the West. I mean, like that.
Right.
So
those are facts.
Now we can stop there and start trying to explain why. We can try to make sense of it, but you have to start there. They do not have a winning record against any top 7 seed in the West. They're 3-9 against top 7 seeds in the West. Their winning percentage against top 7 seeds in the West is 25%. They're losing 3 out of every 4 games against top 7 teams in the West. Bennett, I don't mean to catch you off guard with all these questions, but do you know, if your goal is to get to the NBA Finals, do you know who you have to beat to get there?
I would assume a few of the top 7 teams in the West.
That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it as much as the next fella. You know, if you got to play, you know, the 13th team in the East on your way to the NBA Finals out of the Western Conference. But that's not the way this thing's going to work. You're going to have to beat top 7 teams from the West, and so far this season, they have not been able to do it. We can talk about why, if you want to talk about why. Mm-hmm. We can talk about why this spotlight's shining right down on my head right now. We can talk about whatever you want, but we can't get away from the fact that they are 3-9 against top 7 seeds in the West after last night's loss at Houston. After Ja Morant, around this time yesterday, was labeled questionable with an illness, an undisclosed illness. The franchise point guard was made available and placed into the starting lineup, and then played what has become a pretty typical Ja Morant game in this season. Lots of highlights, lots of turnovers. Ja took 24 shots, only made 11 of them. One of them was a half-court bomb. That was fun in the fourth. That was nice. Finished with 29 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, but also 7 turnovers. Last 3 games for Ja Morant. 3 assists, 4 turnovers against Houston. 4 assists, 5 turnovers against Minnesota. 4 assists, 7 turnovers against Houston. Last 3 games, 11 assists, 16 turnovers, 2 losses, 1 win. And as Fast Break Breakfast, shouts to Fast Break Breakfast, noted on X last night, is averaging 5.4 assists, 5.6 turnovers in losses this season. Bennett, this is year 6 for the 25-year-old superstar, and he's averaging a career-high 3.9 turnovers per game. You got a theory why? Why does this happen?
I don't really have a theory why. Again, I would hope that, just talking about when I talked about those guys all playing together, I hope that it would just go down the more games he gets under his belt in a row. Again, how many games has he played in a row now? 3 or 4, right? Mm. Yeah. So
yeah, it's never. I mean,
it's never that many, right? I mean, I think that it's been rare that he's played 5 games in a row, almost ever. So, you need to see. I think that if you see a long stretch of him out there with his teammates, I would think that as good of a player as he is, that number would go down.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a clear answer for why is this happening. So I'll probably set you up with a bad question there. My apologies. But I do think it's a lot of the stuff you just touched on. He doesn't play consistently. He is in a lot of different lineups, so there's inconsistent combinations he's on the court with. He's playing a lot with 2 rookies I think that matters.
That's true.
He's playing a lot with two rookies, and like you noted, he's rarely playing more than 3 or 4 games at a time. All of that is probably a factor. Either way, it does, and Ja would tell you this. I'm not piling on. Ja would tell you this. It's got to get cleaned up, and I suspect that it will get cleaned up. But until it does, this is likely what you get. Games against good teams that are gettable, like last night's game was gettable.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they slip away after you give the ball away too many times or miss too many free throws that you don't need to be missing in the final 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's why, I'm obviously discouraged about the game last night. That was a huge bummer to lose that game like that, especially when you had control of it for most of the second half. But I'm not going to be super discouraged off of one game just because they had a chance to win both of those Houston games. They were right there in it in both of these last 2 games against Houston. And so, if Jalen Green doesn't score 42 points, if you play better defense on him, is it a different, if you don't have the turnovers, is it a different outcome last night? I just think that what happened last night is something that they can correct more than. And I agree with everyone that says Houston's a bad matchup. They are. I mean, they're a great defensive team. They're 2 in the West for a reason. I just think that
they're physical, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem for the Grizzlies. Santi said that in the postgame last night. Their physicality hurt us. But at the end of the day, I do think that those mistakes that they made last night are correctable, and I think that they can compete with this team.
Of course. I don't. Let me be clear. They have a terrible record against top 7 seeds in the West.
Yeah.
I still believe they are, when healthy, a legitimate contender to win the entire thing. I'm not worried about them in any particular best of 7 series against anybody in the West. I think they have a shot against anybody. But the results are the results.
Yeah.
They're not playing well so far this season when matched up against good competition from the Western Conference. Again, we can discuss why. We can provide context. We can look at who was available when and where, but we'll never get away from that record. It's 3-9 through 12 games against top 7 seeds in the West. That's not good enough. That needs to be better. Some of these games, including last night's, are ones that you could have got and you let slip away.
Yeah.
Some of them are just you got run off the court, but the record has to be better. The performances need to be better. And I suspect that they will, as these guys, hopefully, fingers crossed, continue. The healthy ones stay healthy. The unhealthy ones get healthy and spend more time on the court together. A lot of the stuff cleans up itself, but we got to get there, and it's got to improve. And the sooner the better. Looking ahead, next up, 2 games against Victor Wembanyama.
That'd be fun.
And the San Antonio. It will. In San Antonio, game 1 on Wednesday.
They beat the Lakers last night, I think.
Yeah, beat them bad, 126 to 102. Beat them bad in L.A., obviously. I would imagine a lot of people in that organization got their minds in different places.
Sure.
But, you still got to play a basketball game. Spurs beat them pretty bad in L.A. last night. Grizz Spurs, 2-game little mini-series in San Antonio. Game 1 on Wednesday, game 2 on Friday. San Antonio now 19-19, tied for 10th in the West with the Phoenix Suns. When we come back, turn our attention to the NFL. Deion Sanders acknowledged last night publicly, yes, he and Jerry Jones have discussed the Dallas Cowboys coaching position. Is Coach Prime headed to the NFL? More specifically, back to Dallas? Maybe. We'll discuss that next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
On January 20th, join the Memphis Grizzlies as we honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This year, we honor those who have carried out his vision with the 20th Annual National Civil Rights Museum Sports Legacy Award. The 23rd Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves is brought to you by Ford and your Mid-South Ford dealers.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Deion Sanders, Colorado football coach, a.k.a. Coach Prime, has acknowledged publicly that he and Jerry Jones have discussed the Dallas Cowboys coaching vacancy. Coach Prime appears to be a candidate to be the next head coach of America's team. Bennett, I know you don't have a special place in your heart for America's team, but if you were a Cowboys fan, would this excite you or scare you?
I mean, it's not the most rational fan base, GP. I would say, yeah, it might excite me a little bit if I was a Cowboys fan, just because I know how they think.
Okay, but I'm asking you.
You're asking me.
I'm asking you, Big Bet Bennett. I'm not asking you to be a Cowboys fan. I'm asking you if you were a Cowboys fan. I'm not asking you to impersonate your stereotypes of Cowboys fans. I'm asking you to put yourself in the position of a Cowboys fan. Take your Titan stuff off. Put some stars on your body. Would this excite you or scare you? If I told you right now, hey, you're a Cowboys fan, and this could be your coach. You could have Deion Sanders. All you got to do is say, do it, and it's done. You want to do it?
Well, I think he's a good coach. So, yeah. I do. I think so. I mean, dude, listen, when we got the number 1 overall pick, in my mind, like, the first thing I thought was, okay, let's draft Shedeur and then fire a coach and hire Deion Sanders. Like, let's just go all in and do this and get some excitement injected into this fan base. So, yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, I think the why not would be tied to, though Deion Sanders has done a remarkable job at Colorado, it has been bumpy. He's fought with media. There's been weird back and forth between him and players, between him and other coaches. And it's working in Colorado, and God bless them. But this is arguably the biggest brand in American sports. And we just don't need to get involved in this. That's probably what the why not would be tied to. Why wouldn't you do it? It's probably something underneath the umbrella of stuff I just said.
That's fair. I just, there's always something tied to the so like what's the difference really? Like every week after they lose, there's like some kind of wild quote from Jerry Jones or somebody within the franchise. Like, I don't. Well, I think there, honestly, it actually. I think that it would probably be more controversial in most places besides there. I for some weird reason. I just think that like it's already a circus with the Cowboys. Like why, who cares? Like you're going to get the media attention no matter what happens there.
Well, the other side of it is you hire Deion Sanders not because he's the person you necessarily want to hire, but because as you go through the process, he might be your best candidate. Did you see Troy Aikman talking about this last night?
What'd he say?
This would be concerning to me if I were a Cowboys fan. Troy Aikman was asked about the Cowboys job. This is Troy Aikman.
Yep.
His career is can largely be tied to the success he had of playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Like if Troy Aikman were just a quarterback somewhere else, is he still Troy Aikman today? Maybe. But being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it created Troy Aikman. It created Tony Romo. Like those are two of the biggest analysts working in sports media today, regardless of sport. So if anybody owes his career, and I'm not saying Troy Aikman is a top shelf analyst because he played quarterback for the Cowboys, right? He's a top shelf analyst because he's talented. But being a Super Bowl winning quarterback of the Cowboys is part of his story. If anybody has real good stuff in their heart or should for that franchise and the things that it helped in his life, it would be Troy Aikman. And Troy Aikman last night was like, I just don't know how good of a job it is. Like how coveted. I think that's the word he used, coveted. I don't know how coveted of a job it is. Because you do, maybe you hire Deion Sanders, you got to deal with a bunch of stuff. But to your point, you're the head coach of the Cowboys. You got to deal with a bunch of stuff too. Like your owner talking on radio every week. Like imagine if Taylor Jenkins had to listen to his owner every week critique his job performance. Like that's not publicly. Like that's not easy.
Sure.
But that is what you sign up for when you're a coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So I know some Cowboys fans are like, well, you should go get this guy or that guy. But what if this guy or that guy has agents and people around them who are saying, this ain't the one. Like you don't want to get involved in this. You got personnel problems, roster problems, owner problems. Like I understand. Like coach of the Dallas Cowboys sounds great. It ain't. Honestly, we went through this with the Lakers a little bit.
Yep.
Everybody was like, man, how do you turn down being the head coach of the Lakers if you're Dan Hurley? Because what if the job's not that good? Like it sounds great, and it was great once upon a time, and it could be great again. But when your best player at the time is about to turn 40 and wants his kid on the team, how great of a situation is this? Coach of the Lakers sounds great. Is it really great? Coach of the Cowboys sounds great. Is it really great? That's what Troy Aikman was saying last night on TV. That would concern me if I were a Cowboys fan and make me at least pay a little closer attention if I were a candidate for this job. Why is Troy Aikman, Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning coach of the Cowboys, on TV basically telling the world, I don't know if this is a job you should want to get involved in. I used to work there. I don't know if you want to work there. That would make me ask some more questions if I were a candidate for the Cowboys job. So maybe this is a situation where it actually falls to Deion Sanders, and I don't think he would be capable of turning it down. His kids are now out of Colorado. If the Cowboys want coach A, B, or C, they might not be able to get those guys. If the Cowboys want Deion Sanders, I think they'll probably be able to get that done. Hey, we'll monitor it, Bennett. Why don't we just monitor it?
So I'm definitely monitoring it. Have you seen the hypothetical where the Titans come into play in all of this? Have you seen the hypothetical trades thrown out there?
I have not seen it.
Okay,
but
I'll fill you in.
Oh, please do. I'm not surprised that they exist.
Well, I'm very much in the weeds here in this. So, the Titans do hold the number 1 overall pick.
Heard about that?
Yeah, and one of the candidates for said pick is probably going to be Shedeur Sanders, depending on how he looks like, in the combine and all that kind of stuff. But if Deion Sanders was to become the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, he's always said he wants to coach both of his sons in the NFL. So if you're the Titans, how about you send that number 1 overall pick on to Dallas and then get a big old haul in return, including in the haul Dak Prescott.
Would you approve of that?
Yes.
You're ready to do a deal with the Dallas Cowboys.
If Shedeur is like the next Lamar Jackson, then or Josh Allen or whoever, then I want to just draft Shedeur Sanders. That's what I want to do, or Cam Ward, whoever. Right.
Well, that's the job, Bennett. That's what you got to figure out.
But if
you
they're
really
not,
want to give up the opportunity to draft the next great quarterback so that you can get an aging, not so great, always hurt quarterback that Dallas might want to move on from.
But that's what I'm saying. They're saying this in a good quarterback class. And so if I'm the Titans and I can get a massive haul for number one, including a veteran quarterback, I might just be down to, go through this crap again next season and get another top pick and draft the quarterback. They need picks, man. They got a roster issue. Like they need picks. And if there's not a conviction about one of these quarterbacks, then I'd be taking calls for sure if I was the Titans.
Why not just fire your stupid coach, hire Deion Sanders, and draft Shedeur? Wouldn't you be better off doing that?
I just said that. Yes, I would. I think that'd be so much fun. I'd love that. I would actually. I don't care how much. I would at least have fun being a fan. All right. I would at least have fun being a fan of that franchise if they did something like that. So I'm in.
All right. Hey, we're gonna just monitor the situation. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just monitor the situation.
All right. Let's
monitor.
We're
going to monitor the situation in Dallas. We'll continue to monitor.
Okay, great.
Number 2.
Bennett, you picked another football game incorrectly last night.
Dude, this is we're getting back into like last year territory. Like
you ever consider trying to get them right? Every day I ask you to pick a game, and every day you're wrong. You ever thought about being right sometimes?
I was going to take the Rams. I was actually feeling pretty good about the Rams. And then when we got to that portion of the show yesterday, I was like, well, it's not good. They moved the game. It's in Arizona now. And so what kind of home field do they have? And they did not. Like, there was a lot of Vikings fans there, but it did not matter.
But they played inspired football.
They did. But I should have taken that into account, what they're playing for.
They're playing for Fires.
They're playing for L.A.
They're playing for Fires.
I don't know why. Why do I just? And then last night, like, I had these like This is gonna sound like, oh yeah, that's what everybody says. I swear to God, dude. Like, every time I'll get these like theoretical like bets in my head, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. Like, that sounds really good. And then I don't do it because I'm like, that's too far fetched. You're thinking too much. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then it happens. It happens every time. I've missed so many good bets because of my brain.
God, I wish you had a better brain.
I know, dude. I know. I'd be rich. I don't know what's going on, and now it's affecting these picks. It's just. Yeah, it's been another bad run. I don't know what the record is, but it can be good. We've slumped.
Oh, I know what the record is. It's 178, 177, and 4, negative 18.1 units on your career.
I'd gotten out of the hole.
No, I mean, you've never been out of the hole.
Yeah,
really.
But I was like really, really close. Like, my head was peeking out.
Really? Nope.
Yes, it was. I was close. I was down to like 6 units at one point. Yeah, dude, I was getting close.
Not as close as you think.
All right.
You're like one good brain away from being good at this.
Yeah.
You know how much better it would be if you had a better brain?
Yeah. It'd be nice.
God,
I'd at least have more money in my pocket. Yeah.
It'd be nice for all of us.
Yeah.
Honestly, it'd be nice for all of us. You didn't understand that they were going to play inspired football. They were playing for the Palisades.
I know, dude. I just didn't. And you know what? It's like, and I get these like, I start like I'm like, man, I feel bad for Sam Darnold. Like literally everyone in America is like, we told you Sam Darnold was going to be Sam Darnold. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened. And I was feeling bad. Like, that's what they said coming into this game. It was like, oh, Sam Darnold's turned into Sam Darnold. Like, he ain't going to win a playoff game. And so I was feeling bad for him. And that's why I picked him yesterday.
He did his best. He looked like he was trying hard.
He
looked like he was trying hard.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that was not good. If I'm a Vikings fan, I actually feel pretty good now because you don't. I mean, I think you stick with J.J. McCarthy at this point, right? Like, you can't. You had that nice little run with Sam Darnold, but like at the end of the day, he's Sam Darnold. So I think you probably stick with the young guy going forward.
He tried hard. That's what I saw. He did his best.
Yeah.
He did his best. What more do you want him to do?
He did his best. The Rams are interesting, dude. I mean, they've been there before. I know they're older, you know.
I thought they reached a point where they were like, might as well just move Matthew Stafford.
Blow
it's time
this
to
thing
move
up.
on.
Yeah.
And now look at them. Look at them now. They're in the Elite Eight.
They're not that far away.
I call it the Elite Eight.
The Elite Eight.
Now look at them now. They're in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
They're playing for the Palisades.
That's right.
They're playing inspired football. They're playing for fire. They've been inspired by wildfires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
I'd be nervous if I was an Eagles fan going into that. I think that's who it's Rams-Eagles next week. I'd
Rams-Eagles in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'd be nervous if I was an Eagles fan. I would.
I mean, you're playing a team that's playing inspired football.
And it's been there. I know not all but like the quarterback's been there. You know, some of those offensive players have been there. Like, I'd be nervous.
Hey, Philadelphia, Rams-Eagles on Sunday. We're going to monitor that situation as well.
Hey, let's keep an eye on that.
Number 3.
LiAngelo Ball has signed a $13 million deal with Universal Music Group. Drake is suing Universal Music Group, and they're giving $13 million to LiAngelo Ball. Dude, what is going on?
People love the song, man. People love the song. What can I say? I mean, good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Because it must be hard being him on some level.
Of course. You're number 3, right?
He's like, you're Cooper Manning.
Yeah, you're Cooper Manning. That's a great comp. He is Cooper Manning in that Cooper family. Manning. Yes.
The only thing we know about you before this is your brothers were better at basketball than you, and your dad had a big mouth, and you got arrested in China for stealing while you were at UCLA. Like, all of these things are things that actually happened. And outside of that,
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, they went to China. He was in jail in China, so he got caught stealing in China.
Oh,
it's a
wow.
real thing. You can Google that. Okay. Anyway, I had forgot he existed. Like, if you'd have said 2 months ago, so what's going on with LiAngelo Ball, I would have said, I have no idea. Yeah. And I don't even know if you understand this, but right now you're looking at the man. Right now you're talking to the man who discovered the Ball family.
Is that true?
Yes.
I know that I've been doing this with you for a while now. I do vaguely remember you
discovering the Ball family.
You talked to, because with Chino Hills. Was that it?
Chino Hills.
Chino Hills. Yeah, I remember you mentioning Chino Hills way back when, before they became a thing.
I was on the ground floor of the Ball. I discovered the Ball family. I'm like the Christopher Columbus. Who do we give credit to?
For discovering Columbus? America?
I like Amerigo Vespucci myself.
Wasn't Leif Erikson involved in that? The Viking? When he involved in that, like when don't people like to give him credit sometimes? Leif Erikson. I think that's true. I think that's true.
People like you like to give him credit sometimes. There ain't nothing a white bearded man likes more than to give credit to Leif Erikson. Yeah. Oh, buddy, Bennett trying to give credit to a least surprising thing I've heard all day.
He said he got here before Columbus. Don't fact check me.
Yeah. I lean a little more toward Amerigo Vespucci.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm pretend that I am pretend I'm out there exploring the world. In a different time, I would have been exploring the world and finding new continents. Mm-hmm. But by the time I came along, we had already found all the continents. Mm-hmm. All right. So I had to do other things. So I went and found basketball families. Gotcha. I discovered the Ball family. True story. I was out in Las Vegas several years ago, and just out there popping around and looking for things to write about, looking for things to, I don't really know what to do. I ain't really been paying that close attention. And I'm sort of just, you bump into somebody and they're like, what are you working on? I'm like, I don't know. What are you working on? It's like, I don't know. And I'm like talking to somebody I'm actually friends with. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm working on. I'm just here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just sort of, maybe I'll stumble into it. I'm just sort of here. I'll figure it out. And somebody was like, well, have you seen the kid who's committed to UCLA? I said, no, who's that? Lonzo Ball, point guard, like 6'5" point guard. I said, no, I haven't seen him. I said, is he here? Yeah, but he's playing in like the smaller tournament over in the other gym. Kind of a neat story. It's not like a Nike team or an Adidas team. He's not like playing for Team Thad or Team Penny. It's like his mom and dad coach his team, and it's him and his brothers, and one of the brothers is like a little kid, and they just all play together on the same team. And I don't know, but the older kid's pretty good, and the little kid shoots it from all over. Like, I said, okay, I'll go look at this. So I go over to this little side court, this gym in Las Vegas. There's nobody there. It is very much like a mom and dad coached 8-year-old baseball team. That's what it looks like. All right, they don't have the Nike stuff. They don't have the Adidas stuff. They don't have the Under Armour stuff. The mom and dad are coaching the team. Dad's the head coach. Mom's the assistant coach. It's a mixed race couple. Father is black. Mother is white. And all three brothers are playing on the team together. Lonzo being the oldest. And because Lonzo's a rising senior, getting ready to do his senior year of high school, they have to play 17 and under. But then LaMelo is like 12 years old, 13 years old, and he's playing on the same team. And he's just bombing from everywhere. And so I'm just sort of like interested in all of this. And after the game, I approached LeVar Ball, didn't know his name, didn't know it was LeVar. Nobody knew his name. We talked for 30 minutes. I talked to Lonzo, LaMelo, LiAngelo, all these guys, the mom. Nobody bothered us. Nobody asked for an autograph. Nobody came and took a picture. I am not exaggerating. 1 year later. So then I write this story. And I'm not even suggesting that it blew up because I wrote this story. That's not what happened at all. But I did write this story. And then it did blow up. And by the time we got back to Vegas, maybe 2 years later, 3 years later, when LeVar Ball walked in, it was with a documentary crew. When LeVar Ball walked in, it was like Michael Jordan walked in. There's this memorable night in Las Vegas where LaMelo Ball's team was going to play Zion Williamson's team. They did play.
I remember, yeah.
They had to close the gym. LeBron got there, and they told LeBron, you can't come in because it's just too crazy already. Like, if you come in, it'll get crazier. So please, King, leave. Like, they told LeBron, you can't be here because we can't control what's happening here. He just became this overnight sensation. He was on with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless and all these guys every morning. Like, while Lonzo was at UCLA, LeVar and the whole thing was just crazy. And then he took LaMelo out of high school, and he's in Eastern Europe playing basketball. The whole thing just became this huge story. And then the mom had a stroke, and Lonzo got hurt. LaMelo became a star or something close to a star. LiAngelo just sort of disappeared. LeVar went sort of. It's like, when's the last time you even saw LeVar Ball on television?
That's a good point. He kind of doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, and it just sort of like whatever happened, happened. But you look up now, and for all the criticism this guy took, and there were a lot of missteps, right? Even Lonzo Ball has suggested that maybe his injury problems are tied to the big baller brand
shoes, yeah.
Wearing these shoes, right? There were missteps, undeniably. There are a million times if I were in a position to pull LeVar aside, I would have pulled him aside and say, yeah, you need to, not that I'm anybody to be giving advice to fathers, but there were missteps that I think most of us could see. But look now. Who's raised 3 more successful boys than that guy?
No, it's a good point. You got two kids. One of them's an NBA star. The other one is a guy who's made a ton of money in the NBA. Yes. And now look what's happening with LiAngelo.
Yeah. I never thought all the criticism directed at him was fair or even sensible. You could Google this. People were writing columns like LeVar Ball's the worst dad in the world. And I'm like, the worst dad in the world? You know who the worst dad in the world is?
Yeah.
Dads that have no role in their kids' lives. Those
right.
are the worst. Those are the worst dads in the world. Dads who could play a role in their kids' life but choose not to for whatever reason. Those are the worst. This guy's the opposite. If you want to criticize him because he plays too much of a role in his kid's life. But, man, don't ever get it twisted. At its core, do you know what the LeVar Ball story was? It was a man who loved his kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. That was a man who dedicated his life to doing what he thought he could do to put his sons in the best position to succeed. Do you do that?
Me personally, I try my best. Yeah.
I mean, I don't try my best. I don't do that. Look where I am. Look where I'm sitting right now. I've been here for a week. All right. I make choices. Am I really doing everything I could? Am I sacrificing my own career, my own life to put my sons in the best position I think I can put them in to succeed? I'm not, clearly. I'm in New York all the time. I'm just not. How would I criticize LeVar Ball? LeVar Ball probably had choices he could make in his life, just like I've had in my life, where you can pick right now. You can pick right now what path you want to go there. Well, I picked the path that leads to this, right?
Yep.
And LeVar Ball picked the path of, I'm going to be a present every day. When I wake up, it's about my kids. When I go to sleep, it's about my kids. Every minute throughout the day, it's about my kids. That's who he is. That's what he did. Did he make some poor decisions along the way? Of course. Were there missteps? Sure. But at its core, that's the sweetest story in the world. At its core, this is a man who just loved his boys, invested every minute of every day he had into them. And look at this. And it doesn't mean that if you invest in your boys similarly, two of them will be in the NBA and one of them will be a rap superstar. All right. This is not the way the world works. This is crazy. All right. But I do think there's a great lesson in there. And maybe some people owe LeVar Ball an apology. He was very easy to bang on once upon a time because, yeah, he probably talked a little too much. Mouth was a little too big. But, again, at the core, that's a guy who just wanted his boys to succeed. And every one of them is a millionaire many times over. Every one of them is successful in their own way in life. That's rather than worst father of the year, that seems like the type of stuff that should get you into running for father of the year. You know, if I'm handing out awards, maybe that's one I'm looking at LeVar Ball with. He seems to have done a really nice job here.
Number 4.
Jerry Palm has updated his projected bracket for the 2025 NCAA tournament. Did you see where he's got Penny Hardaway's Tigers?
I'm going to say he's got them sitting comfortably as a 5 seed.
Oh, Bennett. Thank God you're not a bracketologist. Because Jerry Palm is, and he's got him as a 3 seed.
How about that?
How about that?
I love it.
First game against High Point. High Point, of course, alma mater of the great Tubby Smith.
But he's retired.
Yeah, he is retired. Tubby is no longer. Tubby is no longer coaching at High Point. Tubby is now retired. High Point right now is 15-4. Head coach, the legend, Alan Huss.
What league are they in? Probably one better than ours.
The Big South. The Big South.
Is it better than the AAC?
No, the Big South is the 17th. The 17th best conference in America.
Gotcha.
The AAC is the 11th according to the net, 10th according to KenPom. 3 seed for the Memphis Tigers. That's even. I would have them as a 4.
I really like. I mean, that sounds awesome. Listen. Obviously, I want to play good teams in the NCAA tournament and see where we stack against the best teams in the country. But don't get it twisted. I want to go to a Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Like I want to play. I want to play a team that is just inferior to Memphis in that first game. That's what I want as a Memphis fan.
Here's the thing, Bennett. I don't know if you know how brackets work, particularly the NCAA tournament bracket. But let me share some insider information with you. Mm-hmm. The better the seed, the more likely it is you're going to play somebody in that opening game that you are clearly better than. And when you are a 3 seed, you are always going to be playing somebody that you are clearly better than. So stay where you're at.
Yeah,
Get a 3 seed.
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to play like against a team that won like the Big South, you know, or a league like the Big South. I don't want to play, you know, Kentucky or I don't want anything to do with a Power 5 program in that first game.
That's fine. Here's the thing. If you are a 3 seed, you ain't playing a Power 5 team or Power 4 team in that first game because you can't play an at-large team if you're a 3 seed.
Yeah, right.
The at-larges are going to be gone by about 11 seats.
You're getting a bid winner, right?
You are getting, barring a surprise, you are getting a low major conference champion
Yeah.
or a mid-major conference champion. You can lose these games. People lose them all the time. John Calipari more than most. That's why he's at Arkansas now. Couldn't stop losing games exactly like that game. But if you're a 3 seed, you're going to play somebody like High Point. The way Jerry's bracket is set up right now, Memphis 3 seed, High Point 14. That would be your round 1 game. Round 2 game would be West Virginia against a play-in team. So if Jerry's bracket played out to seed, first game for Memphis would be against High Point. Second game for Memphis would be against a 6-seeded West Virginia team. That means Memphis, as a 3 seed, would quite clearly be favored to make the Sweet 16. The first Sweet 16 since John Calipari took the Tigers there way back in 2009. So this is shaping up okay.
Yep.
Next game at Temple on Thursday night. Jerry Palm's bracketology. You can find it right now. CBSSports.com.
Number 5.
The Eagles fan who went viral for yelling at a Packers fan during a playoff game this weekend has been identified by the internet. His employer has released a statement. They are fully investigating the situation, and this appears to be the latest fella who's going to cost himself not only a reputation, but his career because he wanted to yell at a opposing fan at a football game. People are crazy, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, this is so he's like an old, he looks like he's probably in his 50s. Like he's an older guy, and this is like the disconnect between the new age of sports fan, or just people that go to concerts, sporting events, things like big events in general, and like the older generation is like, I guarantee you this guy never thought that he's probably been going to games forever. He's probably been doing stuff like that forever, but he's never had a camera in his face. And that's the thing, man, is now you can't get away with stuff like that anymore. Like I guarantee you that is not the first time that dude had done that. He looked incredibly comfortable saying all that stuff he did to that couple. But that was the first time that somebody had a camera in his face.
You have to assume at this point, if you are in public and in any sort of confrontation, somebody's going to get a camera on you pretty quickly.
Yep.
Right? Like all I do at night is sit here in a hotel room by myself and watch videos of confrontations. That's all I do.
Me too.
I just lay here and watch videos of confrontations. Sometimes they're fist fights. Sometimes they're at school. Sometimes they're at Wendy's. You know, sometimes it's like sometimes fist fights turn into murders. Saw one of them the other day.
That's unfortunate.
It was a good old fashioned fist fight between two fellas. You know, they got their dukes up. They had their dukes up and they were fist fighting. And it was a pretty fair fight for about 30, 35 seconds. But then this one fella landed a punch. Boom. And then landed another one. Bam. And like it became pretty clear, like if you were a referee, like if this were UFC, you'd have stepped in and stopped the fight, right? But we didn't have a UFC official there. We did not have an octagon, but we did have somebody with a gun. So
of course,
rather than step in and stop the fight, they just went pop, pop, pop. And that was the end of that video. You know, so all I do is just watch confrontations. So I know that there's cameras out there, but I think you're right. There's no way. I mean, obviously there's always a way if you're intoxicated.
Sure.
So perhaps that leads to this, but like, there's no way in the year 2025 you should assume you can involve yourself in a lengthy back and forth with a person exchanging those types of words and that somebody's not going to have a camera on you pretty quickly.
Yep.
This fellow's going to learn that the hard way. His employer has released a statement. He works for BCT Partner. So it's like a real thing. Like this guy isn't like, you know, a self-employed person where it's like, you know, who cares? Like I know people like that. Like they're always involved in some wild stuff, but it's like, you know, they're a self-employed painter or, you know, a self-employed contractor. So, or they own their own business. So like, who's going to hold them accountable? You know, we can all whisper about them when they're not around, but like, you know, ain't nobody going to fire them because they're in charge. Well, this guy's got like a real job with like real bosses and they've got a real Twitter account, and they released a statement on it. BCT Partners. It says the management at BCT Partners has been made aware of a video circulating involving an employee making offensive remarks outside of the workplace. BCT Partners denounces this type of behavior, and we take this matter extremely seriously. As an organization that has always stood up for inclusivity, that's a weird word, the conduct displayed was completely unacceptable and stands in direct opposition to our company values. I don't know why they had to make a statement this long. We have already begun a full investigation as an internal personnel matter to determine what actions will be taken. We sincerely apologize to everyone affected by this behavior and remain committed to fostering a culture of respect for all. In statement, unless this guy is like really the best at his job and the only one in the world who can do it, it's over, baby.
I think
it's
so.
over for him.
I think so, and rightfully so. I mean, that was listen, man. That's it ain't shocking coming from Eagles fans.
You could just Eagles fan Twitter search; it'll pop right up. But the guy was repeatedly calling a woman who's a Packers fan. He was calling her ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think she was ugly?
No.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
not at all.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it seemed inappropriate. And also was calling her the C word that rhymes with bunt.
Yeah, I see that.
C word that rhymes with bunt.
That's and the guy, the boyfriend that was, there's a lot been made of him not taking any action.
What would you do there, Bennett?
Yeah, I would take my beating. And nobody calling my wife that when I'm standing right there. Mm-mm. There was definitely a lot more dudes with the guy that's in a bunch of trouble than there was that guy. It appeared it was just him and his girlfriend, and that guy had a bunch of friends with him, the guy that was calling her the C word. But I'm probably just going to have to take a beating there because I'm a land one.
There is a sentiment there that even if you know how it ends, you got to take your beating, but you can't do nothing.
That's my sentiment. Yeah.
I don't know that that's ever been my sentiment, but I'm scared that my instincts would be like, let's just get out of here. That would be my instincts, I think.
Mm-mm.
I feel like my instincts would get me called names, even worse than the C word that rhymes with bunt.
The thing is, too, is even though they're above you and they have the high ground, you could, that guy probably doesn't have a good stance. You could grab him by his jacket and pull him down like a flight of the bleachers. That'd do some damage. You got to at least get one shot in and then cover up, right? Yep, that's right.
Get your one shot in and then cover up. I think it's a tough situation to be in. I think the best solution was let's just be a little better. How about we stop just yelling at people simply because they wore different team logo to a football game? Maybe we just relax a little bit. It's just a stupid football game.
And now listen, I'm not saying all Philly fans. I know a Philadelphia Eagles fan, Luke, who's a great guy. He would never do anything like that. But I mean, it's not shocking it happened at an Eagles game.
You're not surprised.
It's not shocking it happened at an Eagles game. And it's why, dude, I've told you this a million times. It's why I would not take my little kids to an NFL game right now. I'm going to wait till they're older.
You want them to be old enough to help you fight if you need to.
You're damn right. Yeah, there'll be three of us. Uh-huh.
I get that.
Yeah, we take those old dudes out. Well, I'll be old by then, but...
Yeah. Oh, man, I can't wait to see you and your boys fighting at a Titans game.
Yeah, let's go.
That's going to be good. I hope you send me the video.
Coach Prime down there on the field. Shador throwing touchdowns. Us in the stands fighting. The Titans are back. Let's go.
Man, it's good to have dreams. It's good to have goals. Man, I hope you get to a point where you and your boys can be so excited about the Titans that you're fighting opposing fans in the stands in downtown Nashville.
Yeah,
I hope we get there at some point.
New stadium. Yeah.
It's going to be nice, man. It's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Man, I can't wait till that day comes.
I imagine he'll be fired by this time tomorrow.
Yes.
So we'll continue. We've got a lot of things we're monitoring.
Dude, I'm taking notes over here. We got a lot of shit to monitor.
We're monitoring a lot of stuff. We're treating it like we're
Coach
seeing
Prime. We're monitoring Coach Prime and the Cowboys.
We're breaking news. Like we're monitoring all these situations, and we're monitoring the fires out in the Palisades.
Yes.
Hey, you guys monitor the fires and the inauguration, and we're going to be over here monitoring some other things. All right, we'll do our part. So we got a lot of stuff we're monitoring.
Yeah.
We're monitoring Coach Prime and the Cowboys. We are monitoring the Rams situation in Philadelphia next week. And we're also monitoring this situation with this Eagles fan who has been caught on camera telling a woman who's a Packers fan that she is ugly and the C word that rhymes with butt.
Mm-hmm.
We're monitoring the situation. BCT Partners has released a statement. I imagine they'll have to release another one at some point that says this fella who's a little too free with the C word that rhymes with butt. This fella, he's no longer employed with us. He's going to have to get another job. Yeah. Good luck. I wish him luck. I don't. I actually don't wish him luck. I wish him a lack of success in his future endeavors.
Yeah.
I wish him poor success in his future endeavors.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Jaron, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three!
Bain for three. Bingo! This man Bain
Heating it up.
blocked by Jaron.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off. Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
On January 20th, join the Memphis Grizzlies as we honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This year, we honor those who have carried out his vision with the 20th Annual National Civil Rights Museum Sports Legacy Award. The 23rd Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves is brought to you by Ford and your Mid-South Ford dealers.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Welcome back. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis, inside the Bill Ford Tough studio, producer the program. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, Bennett, but I was glancing at the chat here a second ago. I see you and Devin got an interesting conversation.
He brought it up.
Y'all appear to be Bonnie Blue fans. Are you a Bonnie Blue fan, Bennett?
Well, I'm frankly shocked that it didn't make 5 more things today. That's like got 5 more things written all over it, or 1,000 more things.
Well, how many times can you talk about a woman having sex with 1,000 men before there ain't nothing else to say about it?
I think that's, you know what, that's probably fair.
We have multiple women out there now who are trying to hump as many men as they can in a 24-hour period.
What's going on?
When did this happen?
What purpose does this serve?
When did beautiful women just decide they'll sleep with anybody? All you gotta do is show up. This was not a thing when I was young.
No. Or at least we didn't know about it.
Nobody told me. Now, like these women, Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue, they're both beautiful young women.
Yeah.
And they will hump anybody. Anybody. You just have to show up.
Yeah, I've seen the clips. Well, just the clips of them talking. The clips of them talking after the fact.
You've never seen Bonnie Blue work, be honest. You've never seen Bonnie Blue work.
I've seen the clips of her talking after the fact.
You've seen Bonnie Blue work.
Now the Lily one, like obviously we talked about that one a lot, and she was clearly like emotional after hers.
Yes.
Like she was crying. She was a little upset, it appeared. Bonnie was not. Bonnie was not after sleeping with 1,000 men. She was very proud of her accomplishment.
It's a wild situation because when does it stop? Lily Phillips was like, I'm gonna bang 100 dudes, and so we were like, cool, do that then. And she did that, and then she was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna bang 1,000 dudes. And then next thing you know, Bonnie Blue's like, well, I'm gonna bang 1,000 dudes too. So like, do you have to go to 1,200 now? Like, when does it stop?
I would hope not.
It feels like we got 2 billionaires at an auction, and they just keep going.
Yeah.
Raising their things. It's like, I'll do 1,500. I'll do 2,200. What a wild deal.
That's really wild situation.
I don't remember this happening when I was young.
I do not either. Or you said at least we didn't know about it.
Nobody told me about it.
No.
Like you would. I mean, these are very attractive young women, and if you, how about this is crazy. Think about this for a second. Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue are very attractive young women.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, very attractive, famous young women. Think about all the other very attractive, famous young women in the world. You love Sydney Sweeney, so let's put her out there, right? Mm-hmm. Zendaya, you can put them, Kylie Jenner, whatever order you want to put them in, I don't care. You cannot even talk to them people, ever, right?
Right.
But with Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue, right now, regardless of who you are, if it is your goal in life to sleep with one of them, you probably can. That's kind of nutty, isn't it?
It's pretty insane.
You just have to pay attention to their social media filings, and when they say, hey, I'm going to be banging anybody that shows up next week in London, you just got to get a plane ticket and go to London and be like, I'm here. Let's do it.
By the way, you might not be able to see their work. As Lee pointed out in the chat, porn's like illegal in Tennessee now. Or at least they're making it really hard to watch it.
Bennett, I'm in New York City.
Oh, so, yeah, it's anything goes there.
Anything goes. Anything goes up here. You can do whatever you want up here.
Yeah.
There's so much porn available in the state of New York.
Right. They still have like the cassette tape or the VHS tape stores.
Whatever you want. You ain't running into no firewall situations in the state of New York.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha.
Tennessee's a different deal. Mississippi's a different deal. Up here, do whatever you want to do. Think about that. I could send you a picture of Lily Phillips right now, and I'd say, look at her. And you go, woo, that's a pretty young woman. And I'd say, you want to sleep with her? And you go, well, of course. I mean, what? And I'd say, no, you can. You can next week if you want to. Just got to show up. What a wild situation.
Really wild. Really wild.
Man. Anyway, Bonnie Blue, she's the star of the day. She slept with over 1,000 men in like 12 hours. I saw Lily Phillips talk about it. She says you don't even remember. You don't even remember. You just sort of black out the day.
Wow.
It's a wild thing these young people are doing these days.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, we just played duck hunt, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
We just sat around and played duck hunt for fun.
Yeah.
It never even occurred to us to try to sleep with 1,000 people in one day. We were happy with like one a week, you know?
It's a new world, man. It's a new world.
One a week and get me back to duck hunt. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Now these kids have taken it to another level.
Yeah. We'll monitor the situation.
We're going to monitor the situation.
Okay.
We'll keep you updated on it.
What's today's biggest game?
I'm taking college basketball. Let's go down to Auburn, Neville Arena. Number 15, Mississippi State at top-ranked Auburn, the Tigers. Moved to number 1 in the AP poll yesterday, even though Janai Broome, their best player, has been sidelined with a significant ankle injury. It would be a 13-point number, according to KenPom, with a healthy Janai Broome, but we don't have a healthy Janai Broome. So it's Auburn minus 7.5, totals 150.5. Tip is at 6 o'clock Central, SEC Network. How you going to act?
Man, that's a big injury, dude.
It's
a big injury. Mississippi State, I mean, they could play on. They came in here and beat us.
They did come in here and beat you.
I'm gonna go Bulldogs to cover.
Then it says take Mississippi State to cover.
Auburn doesn't have their best player, dude.
Auburn does not have their best player. You've been paying attention. That's exactly right. Auburn's without Janai Broome. They're still laying 7.5 points tonight. Bennett says that's too big. Take the Bulldogs. Chris Jans Bulldogs plus the 7.5.
What are we watching on TV?
I think we got to watch me. I'm going to take this hat off.
Okay.
I'm going to put on a suit coat. I'm going to talk on TV for an hour.
What time are you on today?
Noon Central. Central. Going head-to-head with the Chris Vernon Show. Obviously, you should continue to stream the Chris Vernon Show.
Dual screen.
On Grind
come
City
on.
Media.
It's 2025.
It's 2025. We can't put out fires, but we can stream a million things at the same time.
Of course.
Okay? Of course. So, and honestly, what's more important when you think about it?
Being able
Don't
to
answer
screen.
that.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Don't answer
I'm
that.
not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer
I know
that.
it can get confusing sometimes, but don't answer that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to be on TV at noon. CBS Sports Network. That's channel 221 on DirecTV. It's an hour-long episode of the Eye on College Basketball podcast. Noon, CBS Sports Network. Or you can stream it, of course, on your CBS Sports app.
What's the best thing we've read?
Oh, go read Jerry Palm's Bracketology. He writes a nice intro to it. Then he puts the bracket right in front of you. 68 teams. Memphis as a 3 seed. It's number 1 seeds right now if you're interested. Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, and Alabama. I would probably have Florida in front of Alabama, but no big complaints. Jerry Palm's the best in the business. His bracketology is up right now. You can find it on the college basketball page, cbssports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Wednesday, so we'll be getting ready for Grizz Spurs. Wemby and Jaren Jackson Jr., 2 unicorns on the same court.
Let's go.
Let's go. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try my best to enjoy mine. Meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.